Hey! So this week on 50 States 50 Dishes, we'll be going all the way to the Hoosier state of Indiana to make an Indiana fried pork tenderloin sandwich. Now, this dish is going to take a little bit of pre-preparation as you need to pound flat the pork tenderloin and soak it in a marinade for at least 4 hours or overnight, as I did in my case. And I'm going to walk you through that coming right now. Here are all the ingredients listed by the recipe as necessary to make your fried pork tenderloin sandwich. Many of these are going to be utilized as toppings when putting the final sandwich together. What you're going to need immediately, though, is the cayenne pepper, the black pepper and kosher salt, the 2 large eggs, the buttermilk, and the garlic powder to create a marinade that we're going to soak the pork tenderloins in for at least 4 hours or overnight. Before you soak your pork tenderloin, I chose to trim the fat off most of my pork tenderloin pieces, as well as cut them into 2 large pieces, because the next step is you're going to take something like a hammer, or a rubber mallet, as we have in our case. I placed each pork tenderloin inside a plastic Ziploc bag. You can use plastic wrap at your house if you'd like, and then proceed to pound the pork tenderloin flat until it is about 1/4 of an inch in thickness. Now that we've marinated our pork tenderloin overnight, we're going to take 2 sleeves of saltine crackers and the instant flour, crush up the saltine crackers either in a food processor or by hand to make the breading. Place them in 2 separate dishes as you can see here. While you're heating up your oil to fry, because it's almost fry time, I chose this time to prepare the rest of the ingredients for my sandwich toppings. As you can see, we have the tomato, the lettuce, the mustard, the mayonnaise, the pickles, and the onions off to the side, and go ahead and get those prepped up. To properly bread your pork tenderloin, you're going to take it out of the marinade, allow the excess to drip off, place it on both sides into the instant flour, run it back through the marinade real quick, and then onto the saltine cracker breading. Be sure to get it as covered as possible and place it on a separate dish. In a heavy bottom pan or pot, heat up 1/4 to 1/2 inch of your frying oil, in our case vegetable oil. Be sure that you have a candy or deep fryer thermometer to be able to check the temperatures. It will not give you any visual indicators that it is at the appropriate temperature. We're looking for 360 degrees. When your oil has reached the appropriate temperature, take one of your breaded pork tenderloins and place it gently into the heated oil. This will avoid splashback that could possibly burn yourself or set a grease fire going. You want to be as careful as possible and be mindful of the pork tenderloin as it cooks. You're going to need to watch your pork tenderloins as they cook in the fryer. Give each one about 3 to 4 minutes in the oil to be sure that they cook all the way through. So if you follow those directions and you didn't almost burn your house down frying things in a pan like I did, you should have yourself an Indiana Hoosier fried pork tenderloin sandwich, as I have here. Now, I had to cheat a little bit, and I cut my pork tenderloin in half because I know it's generally supposed to be presented with the pork tenderloin hanging over the bun, but I don't have that kind of time, and I like to be kind of clean when I eat. So I cut it in half, and that's still a good size sandwich. So let's give this a shot. It's a pretty good sandwich. Let's see if I can get another bite in there. Oh. That was an excellent sandwich. Tips for you if you decide to do this at home. Remember that crushed up saltine crackers, even when coarse, when they fry completely, will not want to remain on the pork tenderloin due to the marinade. That's fine. You can use a little bit less of that or crush them up more to make them more of a fine powder. Beyond that, as you may have seen, if you have a heavy bottom pot, I would use that to fry in instead of a pan to prevent burn over from the oil. So that was Indiana with our pork tenderloin sandwich. If you want to join us next week for 50 States 50 Dishes, we'll be going all the way to the Buckeye State of Ohio to make Cincinnati chili, which I hear is pretty spicy and will actually have some interesting ingredients in it, such as cinnamon. So tune in next week, and I'll see you then.